workshop?
Notice was posted last week in timely fashion.
All right. How are we doing with AAA? Gonna be ready for us?
AAA's already, I've already got the report ready. to go.
Already set?
Wow.
Friday's distribution? Cool, all right. All right. We got the minutes ready?
Minutes are ready.
All the accounts receivable. Let's go into the old business, John. I know you took a walk around, drove around yesterday.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
This is with the walkway renovation. Steve, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, here we go.
Okay, second unit is finished, 580, so we've got 2 done. Price came in very close to the same, about $5,600. We started the third one, which is unit 436, 437. Here again, downstairs unit, got water intrusion coming through the window due to penetrations and deterioration of the structure below. In doing my survey yesterday, I was looking at some things to figure out which one may be the next one, and I looked at one and I thought, what's wrong with this? And after I studied for a while, I realized it didn't have a scupper. So there's a walkway up there without a scupper that is not letting water go out. And I thought, well, if there's one, maybe there's more. And between Pinehurst, Sherwood, and Springdale, I found 6 upstairs places that have never had the scuppers installed, which means they're retaining water. I'll do the other surveys today to see how much more, but we certainly got to alleviate that situation because other than the fact that I'm guessing that they might have tilted the slab a little bit to have water run this way, but I don't think so because the design was scuppers and it just looked like it was never installed. So it's just find something out every day. I've been looking at these slabs for 6 years since I've been here, and I just noticed it yesterday that some of them don't have scuppers.
This
So-
sounds like gloom and doom. Are we going to find this being a bigger project than we thought it was going to be?
Well, we always thought that it was going to be 139 units at an average. The only problem is we were hoping the price would be under 3,000, and it hasn't come in that way yet. But we still haven't had one that has not some work up top to do and some major structural. So if that comes in, it'll be less, obviously.
Did you see any of those?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right now, no.
Oh,
But this 436 and 437 is just paint upstairs, so it shouldn't be a problem there. But since there's water going into the downstairs unit, there's probably deterioration of the structure. It's open now, and we'll be able to take a look at it today.
There's a simple rectification I told John this morning. I said, stop looking.
Yes,
Stop looking.
that's what happened for years here.
No, that's
How many
basically
units do we have altogether?
139.
There's 100, yeah, well, we have
Oh, we got-
558, but there's 149 upstairs units,
Upstairs.
of which about 18 we fixed the structure itself, but we didn't do the upstairs waterproofing. So we can only say we've done, with the completion of this one, 3.
So, this is gonna
And
be.
we will continue to look, I'm sorry, we have to continue to look, to see where the cracks are and where the intrusion is. My best guess that 801, 802 would be the next one because no water's percolating through that.
Did you catch that, Steve?
Yep, I got it.
All right.
we've had a couple of big rains here, John. There's a flow and everything happening with these new ones.
The new ones, everything's fine.
Beautiful.
There's nothing. The waterproofing's held. The people who have the upstairs units like the surface, everything.
Good. Well, one good thing.
See?
All right, the next thing is the black edging material that's being removed. I know they're doing that.
Yep, that's in the process.
And then the Hatfields and McCoys.
Hatfields and McCoys, we had an issue with the ZNS surveying because they were really closed over the holidays. We've finally gotten in touch with them. They've forwarded me a contract this morning, as a matter of fact. I signed off on it and they said they'll be able to do the survey within 2 weeks. So we may have a report before our board meeting, but we'll certainly have one before the end of the month.
Questions? All right, Tim, you're up. Courtyard sale. How many
What about the
courtyards?
employee Christmas collection?
We don't have to do Yeah,
We won't do it next year?
yeah, we'll do it this year.
All right,
Sorry, John.
the hourly employees each received, including Catherine, $1,300 this year. It was a tremendous collection. It was beautiful. It really was, and they were very impressed and thankful.
I would say so of the spouses, they were very happy.
They were all waiting in the parking lot.
They were, yeah, they were right outside.
They were.
They were in the vehicles waiting for them to come out.
Some of the guys wanted $1 bills, I don't know.
All right, Tammy, now your courtyard sale.
So far, I have received 18 requests to have their courtyard sale. As soon as I get notice, either by my cell phone, text, emails, Chris forwarding them to me, I send a note back to him saying, thank you very much, and giving me a couple of details on what to do. So it's going well so far. Right before the sale, I will post notice at each mailbox, letting people know where the majority of sales, or where the sales are going to be at, so it'll be easier to see.
Oh, like a location finder.
Yes, a location finder.
Okay.
9 to 1 on Saturday the 8th, and I will, in the next couple of weeks, invite Spring Lakes, Wildewood 2, and Wildewood 2B, and those people. Except for the ones where we have an issue with. No, I'm teasing. No, I'll definitely ask them to come bring money.
Yes.
Okay. You're inviting them to come.
Of course.
Put a memo at the
Not
bottom.
to set up.
Definitely
table.
bring money.
No, just put a memo when you send to them, we're using the income to pay for our audit expenses.
For our survey.
No, the only
Yeah, sure.
ones that we have really issue with is Tidewater Association, that's the only one. You gotta understand, it's not just one management over there, there's
Right.
diverse managements. It's like a shell company. All right, our audit is in progress.
Audit is in progress. We've sent letters. The auditor had us sign letters to send to our attorney and to our very other fiscal dealing outfits to confirm what's been done, if there are any outstanding suits, any outstanding insurance claims or anything like that. So it's well in progress.
Okay. Oh, let me see my comment to it. You're up, Steve, about the front yard, courtyard gates. You guys got something going on from your committee, correct?
Yes, I don't have a copy of the committee minutes, so they didn't get sent out evidently, but I'm gonna let John handle, because he's got all the details, and you can hear him better.
Sure. Yeah, we have it, and you'll have it today, Steve, but you're on the road, so it doesn't matter. The committee met and come up with a set of specifications, which will be in your packet. It will be a portable type fence that is not permanently secured. And there'll be a specification submitted to you in your packet for the weekend, or for your meeting next Monday. And you'll be back, right, Steve?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Better, because your fish are hungry. We're gonna feed the fish to the possum. Okay, the other meeting is gonna be held in March.
March 9th, Monday, March 9th, at which there will be election. Should we have competitive people signing up, but each village and the director at large is up for elections. So there are seven villages, and the director at large is all up. And just for the record, which we'll talk about, but Dick O'Dowd, Leslie Jacobs, Steve Abule, vacancy in Palm Tree, Tammy Alborn, Debbie Dial, Sue Downs are the directors that are up for re-election or election. And everyone should have, the mailing went out, and everybody should have got a copy of the mailing. And those of you who wish to rerun, and we hope there are some, please turn in your ballots, or your intent to run form as soon as possible.
Just a side note of that, right following the owners meeting, the annual meeting, we're gonna have the organizational meeting in about 15 minutes past the dismissal of the owners. And then following that will be March's board meeting, okay? We'll take a little break in between the owners meeting and the organizational meeting. Now, just let me clarify and reiterate once again. Annual meeting is for the owners. That's the owners meeting. The only reports to be put out are committee reports. So if you're committee chair, I would appreciate prior to the meeting a copy of the reports if you're not going to be there. If you are going to be there, I believe, Peter, I just bring it up. I didn't want to step on your thunder here about the new PA system.
It's here, and it'll be up on Monday.
Okay, so they'll be able to use the new PA system to give their reports to all the committee chairs, okay? Just be prepared to have questions answered by the owners, and once the owners meeting is concluded, we'll take a 15-minute break, reset for the organizational meeting, and then get everything lined up for the upcoming year. Any questions on that?
Incidentally, there's a small typo at the head of the this proposed agenda. It says 2019, it should be 2020. So we'll make sure that's changed.
All right. Any questions on the annual meeting, organizational, or the board meeting for March next, in March 9th? All right, new business, communications. John, I know you got a couple.
Well, there's, there'll be a couple letters. One was sent to Larry Woodrow in H. Larry, unfortunately, is the one that damaged the dumpster in an incident about 2 months ago. We finally got a check from Progressive yesterday. There'll be reconstruction of that dumpster crib starting Saturday. We had 3 of our in-house people give us bids, Jeff Weaver and Jim Sell and John Mercer. And Jim Sell was in the middle, and the insurance company picked his figure, so it would be rebuilt. Unfortunately, subsequent to that, Larry has been operating the vehicle under the influence of some substance and causing some serious concern both on the property and within the cluster. I've sent him a registered letter. We'll see how good it does, what it does, but to have him immediately cease and desist from driving on the property under the influence.
What vehicle?
So black
It's a
Hyundai,
black Hyundai
Santa Fe.
We can do that.
Yeah. Well, I'll read the letter so you know what it
No, I
is.
didn't, I like that idea.
It's in violation of the
Thank you.
documents where it stipulates a
Just so you'll know where we're at.
a nuisance to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Woodrow, I'm writing you regarding a very important issue. On more than one occasion, you have returned home driving your vehicle in a condition that no one should be driving. As you recall, upon one occasion, you drove into the cluster dumpster, causing considerable damage. Your fellow residents are deeply concerned not only for your health and well-being, but also for their own, as it's quite obvious that a serious accident can and will occur if you continue to operate your vehicle under whatever influence you are abusing. You have a right to do as you wish, but it's imperative that you stop operating your vehicle under the influence and use a driving surface for the safety of all. So I can
What's
say-
his unit number?
He's 311.
Now, last instance, Steve, you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Steve saw him at the mail kiosk, trying to get his mail out of the mail. Steve, well, why don't you just go ahead and say what you saw, what you witnessed?
I was getting ready to leave, and he was parked in front of the mailbox trying to get his mail. And he was holding on to the ledge above the mailboxes. It took him, I guess, 2 or 3 minutes to get the key in. Then when he pulled the mail out, he dropped it. Anyway, about 6, 7, 8 minutes later, he finally managed to get back into his car and drive around. I decided to stay in my carport until he was back in his place parked.
And then right after that,
Right after that, I guess he fell down, and one of the other neighbors ended up calling 911 because he was down on the ground in front of his door.
okay.
Is he single? He's
Does
not.
he
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
I was gonna say, does he have family members?
Yeah, he do.
But, well, we're going to get into that, please.
He does,
Okay.
but do they care?
Just for additional information on that, this is at least the fourth or the fifth time we've had to call the ambulance to come and help him. This last time, he refused to go with the EMTs, and so they opened the door and put him in his house.
Yeah, they walked him in with the assistance of 2 sheriff's deputies.
Why they arrested?
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. After speaking with the sheriff's deputies, to talk to them, and the one corporal was telling me, they said, yes, they realized they could smell the odor of alcohol on him. Yes, he was falling down drunk. And no, they couldn't do anything because he was not behind the wheel of the vehicle. And yes, that the concern that we have is validated because Dick had brought up how lucky he is. Well, I don't really give a damn about how lucky he is. I care about how lucky we are, because there's different times of the day that he comes cruising in here. And I know the guy personally. His wife had passed about 2 years ago, and he's been downhill since then. Okay, he used to partake at various veterans organizations, since been barred. So we don't know where he is partaking in. There is a law on the books in the state of Florida, it's called the dram shop law, that if a bartender or a facility overserves someone or is aware that someone is in that state or has that disease, they are held liable for anything, and was trying to find out where he partakes to no avail now to let them know. Okay, so it's a very serious situation. And myself, I hate to be in that position personally, but there is no excuse. I mean, he's aware of it. He's been into the office numerous times after an incident, sober as a judge, and this is the last straw. Okay, I did speak with the deputy, and I said, so you need to actually place him behind the wheel in that state. He says, yes. I says, does a witness suffice? He said, verbally, no, but if someone had a video of him, that is totally different, and that is admissible in a court of law. So I said, well, I don't have a problem, and I'm gonna let you know on the record that I have no problem. When I see him come back, I will videotape him on my cell phone. Not for only our safety, but his. Okay, unfortunately, it's come to this. Okay? So enough said on that. Okay? Moving on to, you got other communications?
No, that's the main one this time.
Okay. You gonna have a report?
I'll have a report. I want to bring something up too. It kind of dovetails into the last meeting we had, at which time our former Energy Saving Committee Chair presented a report, and that report, per the request of everybody, was submitted to each committee chairman. The only meeting we've had, because of Christmas and everything else subsequent to that, was the pool meeting, and that was put on their agenda, and Tom happens to be here. Tom's on the committee, and Tom came up with what I thought was a very good idea. It was energy saving, because it's just not all electric, it's water, it's other issues. And Tom suggested we contact the county to see if we put water meters on our pools and counted the amount of gallonage that we use in each pool per month. Maybe we could get a credit for the sewer tax, because as you know, we got a credit for $300 for the filling, for the unfilling. Well, the county didn't like that at all.
Oh, I'm sure they
And they
did.
said,
Somebody smarter than them.
yeah, so it was, maybe we could pursue it, but the individuals we talked to, and I talked to the head of the water department, water and sewer for Manatee County, and he said no. So I don't know if it can be pursued, but it still seems like a good idea. but they said they will not accept.
I don't know when somebody says.
An inch a day of evaporation is about 4,000 gallons
Yeah.
across the
Yeah.
7 pools, yeah.
Over the year, I mean, it could be a considerable amount of money, but they said they will not accept that request for credit.
Can I just ask, where are the county water meters here?
We only have one.
Only one.
One that comes in.
We have one up front.
I can speak to that a little bit.
Okay, well,
I
please.
did not put in my final report a recommendation that sub-meters be installed, but I think it's a very prudent and simple thing to do. Now, I did have a discussion with our general manager who said that is not viable. So he and I are on juggernauts on that. Not big ones, just little tiny ones. But sub-meters are very inexpensive. And yes, the best thing would be have 550 installed, but that of course would cost multiples of $10,000. And that of course is the main detriment. But in terms of saving money, the biggest thing in energy savings is the water right now. The electricity is smaller by far. The natural gas is small. The water is the big bill. And of course, if we let every one of our toilets run 24/7, the water bill will triple easily. So that's, to me, a big issue that the committee, or that the board should address, but I did not put in my report because politically it's a very difficult thing to convince people that they should spend a couple $100 to put in their own water meter.
Okay, and I appreciate what he's saying. I've managed properties that have these systems put in. It's the installation of the system is truly not a problem. The billing to 550 unit owners and the accounting and everything else is a snafu of major proportion.
Used to be, but now with computers, it could be done very
No, it's
inexpensively.
the billing, Bob. I'm not worried about, I mean, there are companies that'll come in and do it in a heartbeat. They'll install the meters, they'll do the accounting, they'll do everything, but people don't pay, and people challenge.
And you gotta go to the board, and the board has to put
It's up
sanctions
to the
on
board
it.
to consider it, but I highly don't, I do not recommend it.
Yeah.
Haven't been at least 5 associations, all of which are smaller than this,
Yeah,
much
so
smaller.
I'm just explaining the minor juggernaut. It's not a bad one. I mean, it can be solved. But it would have to be solved by the board, not by an ad hoc committee or by the general manager, I don't think.
Okay,
Is there, can I just ask, is there, a condo association group, local, that we could exchange statistics on? Like, because if we did keep the pool statistics, if we did that for 7 pools for a year, I bet there are neighboring condo associations who would have the same interest in this kind of,
Well, I mean, we're going from one to the other right now, because as Bob says, 7 pools can probably save us X amount of money, which would be really good, but 558 meters would save even more money.
Well,
And
that's my argument.
it is interesting to say that our water bill came in yesterday, and our water and sewer bill was $5,000 more than it was last month, but only $2,000 more than last year at the same period of time. So there has been some rate increases that we anticipated, but I'm concerned about maybe some leakage somewhere to have it that much, because I track those kind of things. And so we'll see where we're at come the next month, but we're constantly checking. We did have a report of water running in a building. We found a toilet running full blast, which gets very expensive. It can raise a bill $500–600 in a month if the toilet runs.
And I'll make,
John, I don't understand what you mean about the billing being a problem. I don't understand. If 558 units are gonna get their individual bill, it's just like electric. I mean, if we paid collectively for electric, people would just leave the lights on. But if they're paying their own water bill, I think everyone would use less water. I think they would save money.
You may be right there, but I'm just saying it hasn't seemed to, the concept is perfect. I've been involved in it. It just doesn't seem to work, and the accounts receivable go crazy because people don't pay, because people challenge it. I mean, I'm just saying what my experience
Well, if they don't pay, they shut their
is.
water off. Like if you don't pay your electric. If I don't pay my electric bill, does the association come in and pay my electric bill?
Yeah, no.
No, well, we might, we do in some instances, yeah. Not if you're living in there, but I mean, if you've abandoned your unit.
Well, I
safety
just
of
challenge
everybody.
it. I'd say it's too high or whatever. I don't want to pay or something. Again, I don't fully understand.
If the board wishes me to investigate it, and we certainly can.
Just because we put in meters in each unit, does that mean that as a owner, I'm going to have to pay my?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be a situation as we have it today, where the association still pays for water, but each one of the units?
Oh, yeah, no, that's the whole problem. The problem is that the association must pay that bill through its contract with the county. Then it's us here collecting from you all.
It's not coming from, the bill's not gonna come from the county.
No,
To the
it's as a whole layer of accounting
Give the
for
money
this
to the
office.
association to pay the bill.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the essence of my disagreement. In most of the associations in Manatee County, where there are sub-meters, each individual condo owner is billed by the county of Manatee. So that would wipe the association clean from any responsibility.
That's true, Bob. That's very true. When I sold my company, we managed 88 properties, okay? 84 of those had individual meters installed upon construction. The 4 that had sub-meters placed after were not allowed to be billed directly by the county.
Well, again, this is a problem between the, as soon as the sub-meters are installed, whoever paid for that is gonna have to negotiate with the county. There's no question about that. And that's a
I don't
problem.
think you can though, if the contract's between the association and the utility, they're not gonna negotiate with me.
Well, we can certainly look at it, in
Depends
more
whether-
depth and see what they have to say and bring things back. Yes, I'm not for not saving money. We've been trying to curtail expenses, and we've been able to keep the maintenance fees the same for 5 years now, or other than the cable increase when we put Wi-Fi in. And when I look at a $5,000 increase in water, it certainly is a reason for concern.
Wouldn't it be true that we would still have the main meter and all that water would come in?
Yeah.
Therefore, we're responsible for that water regardless of whether we have
Yeah.
a sub-meter or not.
Yeah, the sub-meter, the county's not gonna take over a sub-meter that they don't, not up to their
There
specifications.
aren't direct lines, it's a feed off of the main line, so we are then gonna be responsible for all that water, even if sub-meters are in.
Guess what,
And if
too?
people do not pay their bill, then we have to legally go after them.
If the county put in individual meters, they would also require backflow valves for each unit.
Each unit's gonna employ it.
Why, what?
Backflow valve. Backflow, sorry, yeah, sure.
What would be the cost per unit?
We don't know.
Let's,
Well,
Can't make that
backflow alone is about $175, and you have to certify it every year for $25.
Per owner.
right.
Per unit.
The objective that we have here is we have a lot of water coming in and we don't know where it goes. With the meter, a lot of water comes in, the association still pays the water bill. Where it goes now, we'll find out if we had a meter on each one of the units. I don't think that one goes with the other, but the point is that we have meters on each one of the individuals, doesn't mean that we have to pay as individuals. But it would give us an indication that we have, cluster X is using 10 times more water than cluster
And we
Y.
go to the to the resident of Cluster X and say,
Yeah,
you're taking too many baths.
Well, you know, that's not.
know where it is.
Yeah, that's not-
So what?
You can't control it,
I mean,
it
so
doesn't,
what?
can't do
Whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa,
Can't
with
control it.
550 meters, you
That
can
is
just,
gonna
as an
work.
association, put a little lock on that condo, and now he doesn't get any more water.
I mean, we
You cannot.
require,
Think
we
you
require
can.
each
I don't
unit.
think you
Good
can
luck
do
with
that.
that, yeah.
You can put the locks on it.
No, I'm not gonna do it, I'm just saying that's the
No.
board's
Statutorily, you
responsibility.
can't do that because when somebody doesn't pay their maintenance fees,
You
we
can't-
cannot cut the water off by
can't cut-
statute.
we can't cut
cannot
off
cut- we
anything
can't
but
cut
the
table
amenities.
off.
Right.
We can't cut table off by statute.
The only thing we could cut them from using is the pool and the tennis courts. It's the only thing you could stop them from using.
Well, right now, as an association, we require each unit to have smoke detectors.
Well, no, that's
No,
state law.
that's not the association, that is the fire
County
marshal.
law.
Okay, I was gonna say, if we did the meters, we could require people to have toilets that don't leak, or that have
That-
less flow.
No, we don't have any requirement of smoke
It's
detectors.
something
We
we
don't have
should
any
discuss
requirement.
more.
I have
because
those.
There's certainly a lot of issues on both sides that are
It's
valid.
a can of worms.
Yeah, but the key thing I don't think we should do is lose track of what the objective is, and that's
To save money.
for use less water.
Right.
And right now, we want to do that, and we're going to put few or as many things as we can in place to do so. But the problem is, we really don't know what we can do to get the greatest return on investment. Our pools are probably the biggest bulk unit of water, and that would be a place to start. But 558 individual little slabs, I don't know if there's any way we can separate the pools from the other
Well, yeah,
places.
we could find out how much the
Just
pool
the
uses.
meters.
There's no, I mean, we could put meters on the pools and spas, put 14 meters just to see what it is for our own information.
If we did that, wouldn't we gain? At least we know it's the residents that are using more water than the pools.
But my
Well, the residents
question
are
is-
gonna use more water.
Yeah, but my
Because
question, even if,
excuse me, Sue, but our bills dramatically go up in January, February, and March because that's when everybody's here.
That's the most,
I mean, we were $17,000 over budget in water and sewer by September, yet by the end of December, we were even. By the summertime, we were even. So, I mean, that, and of course, the old remedy in the 70s, shower with a friend, probably could, you know. Say a lot of stuff.
I'll do my duty.
I have a question.
Blame it on the snowbird.
Yeah.
It's
know-
those people.
You know, the problem is that, and I think that's great, but remember, once you say, okay, the pools are using more, or the residents are, what do you do with that information? Why gather information if it's not useful for anything? We already know the pools use a lot of water, so maybe we need to go ahead and go along with some type of, without all the meters and everything, you know, the things that we've talked about on putting in panels to,
Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's a good thought either way, and of course, it's expensive, and it's gonna be more expensive, water and sewer is gonna go up, there's no doubt about it. But I can tell you that we're probably using,
I see you, Chris.
a third less water in the pools than when I came here. Every pool leaked in those days, we've been
Right.
resurfaced, we've been, and everything, so, I mean, we've really tightened the leakage up, at least within the pools.
can we do any solar?
Well, the technology there is almost there, but it's not really there yet for solar for the pools. But one of the things that was brought up is to close, like after season, and when I say after season, after April, we close 2 or 3 of the pools and keep them closed. However, yeah, well, that's an answer, that's
It's
a
a viable
suggestion.
thing to investigate.
However, the pool circulation pumps and everything, that still have to keep on working by law. Okay, you just can't drain the pool, yeah, you can drain the pool, but then it's gonna cost you again to refill it.
Right.
It's gonna cost you a lot more than having it running. Can we close the pools? Sure, we can close the pools at any time we want. But still, those pump circulations still have to work. The chemical balances still have to be the same, and this is all by law. Okay? But it's an issue that Bob Dell brought up, and I'm gonna shoot him.
It was nice being here.
You asked him to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
May
I knew I
say-
went to the right guy to do it too.
No, may I say one thing? I
This guy was
resigned-
thinking.
I resigned very quickly after I was appointed, for a very simple reason. It is a no no-win committee,
Yeah, it is.
okay? And as a no-win committee, I like to be friends with at least the majority of people around here. So, I accepted the appointment, I gave a final report, and I resigned effective December 31st. And so now I'm just a private citizen of this condo association. No, I do not advocate that everybody put locks on everybody else's water meters. That is ridiculous. However, it is also ridiculous that the county has a law, if it does,
Right.
that pool pumps have to be on 24/7, even if the pool is empty. Okay? So yes, you could fight that. You can fight people that are using too much water or too much electricity, but you have two people that are not gonna be for you no matter what, and that is the County of Manatee regarding
Exactly.
water and Florida Power and Light regarding electricity.
Exactly. Chris, I saw you all, right?
Well, one question I had was, do we get a different rate than an average residence for water and sewer?
No.
We're paying the
No,
same?
we have two rates that well, first of all, for every gallon used, there's a sewer charge of about 2.5 times.
Yep.
Okay? We do have a rate on potable water, and we have a rate on reuse water that we use for the irrigation.
Sprinkling,
That's different, okay?
And is that's metered
But-
separately?
Yes, separate meters, but we pay the same, like I live in a private home. I mean, you pay the same rate.
Same rate?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
than a condo. It's not like a condo, it's not like cable where there's a bulk
Where you
rate.
get a rate. The other thing that I think we should certainly do is, I think we all would agree that using less water in general is a good thing. And that as a community, we want to do that. I mean, for the benefit of the planet. And so if we can't do what the meter project, then at least let's try to educate our owners more about saving water. I mean, I think that we don't necessarily have to go to the extreme that California had to, where they really started to restrict people's water. But it's not a bad idea for us to continually let people know that there are things they should be doing to use less water.
I think they'd be shocked if they knew how much it cost.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
might
and-
voluntarily.
And that's something we can continue to tell people about how much we're paying.
What's strange is that they charge you for the income, and they charge you twice for the output.
Right, right.
This is a county ploy that's done all over the United States.
All over, nationwide.
Yeah.
Nationwide. Thank you, Koch brothers.
I think that what you've done here in bringing this up, just
Yes.
every single thing we find that may be a savings is going to have another story on the other side. We'll have these debates, and that's fine, because the low-hanging fruit is not there. It's gonna be something where we're gonna have to see if we have any return on investment, number one, and number two, whether we wanna spend the money to do it. And I think, so I say to you, bravo, good job.
To piggyback on what
And I'm
you were
glad
saying,
did it.
Chris, about educating the owners is, great, it's terrific.
Oh, you might,
But one of the things that we can do too, proactively, when an owner takes off and goes back to Wisconsin or Minnesota, we tell them, hey, check, please turn off your water, this, that, and the other thing. Well, each unit has their own water valve outside. If they don't, our guys can go along and say, okay, Joneses aren't here, let's double check. Okay, oh, they forgot to shut the water off, let's shut the water off.
Yeah, I've done that.
That's one of the things that we can do.
Yeah, I've had somebody call me, say, I forgot to turn it off, would you go turn it off for me?
And the only thing that, with the critter issue is if your toilet is empty, they have a way to come in, okay? But if there's water in it when you leave, hey, okay?
Well, that's what we do, we cover it and put.
Yeah, I mean, these are simple fixes that they're out there, people do them, but there are people that, whether they're in a hurry to get onto the interstate, or whatever the case might be, they forget. So we, as an association, when I say we, our employees can know, because a lot of people check in here at the office and let us know, hey, see you guys in October, thanks for everything, whatever. And we have a list that the Joneses on, yeah, they left, okay, fine, thank you, safe travels. We can go behind that as a team and double check and say, okay, the water valve shut off. We don't have to go into the unit to do it, it's outside.
Can't we also just remind them, put something on the TV every month?
It's there, isn't it?
Is it on the TV about the water, Chris? Save
I
money?
believe it is, and we put it on the website too. And the thing we don't do and we should do, and certainly can, and that is start reminding people in April and March about shutting it off.
We have a checklist that we've generated
Right.
for owners.
We give, when we interview each new owner, new resident, new renter, there's a portion in there about turning the water off when you're not here and all of that. But I think it's fortuitous now that our annual meeting is coming up in a couple of months.
Now, I don't have that
We
anymore.
That's in
don't
my
have a-
notes.
Yeah, we don't have a real major subject this year. We're not looking at any amendments
No.
so we can talk about this very
in my
volatile
notes.
subject.
And maybe we can give a checklist out, like, I don't have that anymore, I mean,
Yeah,
I've been here, I
we
don't.
can have it available at the
The
annual
old
meeting.
owners, yeah, so that we have it, I don't have that
And for
anymore.
the record, you might be interested to know that the utilities, which of course include water, sewer, trash, pest control, and natural gas, make up fully 1/5 of the entire budget. It's over $500 and some odd thousand. So if there's as Bob and part of his committee and other people have said, where you're gonna save money is gonna be in where you spend the most money.
Yeah,
Can I say one more thing?
absolutely,
No.
Bob, please. Yes, Bob, please.
In order to save money, you have to spend money,
Mhm.
okay? The obvious difference is ROI, return on investment. If you can put in a water meter, say, just for an example, that you get paid back in 1 month, everybody would do it. But if you do it in 10 years, nobody's gonna do it. Same with the
If
proposal.
I understand this, the individual units are gonna have to put in all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna cause, they're not gonna wanna do that.
Well, it's gonna have to go to them anyway.
Well, whether
It's
we
a
do it or they
decision
do
we
it,
can't make as a
they
board.
have to pay for it, right?
I am sure you'd have to probably amend the declaration.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Or you could ask the county to do it. The county would be happy to put in individual meters, but then they're gonna bill everybody $500 for each meter.
Each meter, exactly.
That's our ROI.
That's the county's ROI.
That's right. And so my comment is ROI is not the only criteria. You have to consider global warming, you have to consider the big picture, the community, and Wildewood Springs.
Is there global warming?
There is global warming, whether you believe it or
I'm being
not.
sarcastic.
I
I'm being
know that Mr.
sarcastic.
Trump does not believe it, but I believe it.
He's not the only one that does it. Okay, I lost my thought. Committee reports, you guys gonna be ready to be committees? Steve, you got something you're gonna have, right?
Yeah, we'll have that ready.
It'll be on the agenda part of it.
I had a comment on this water section,
Go ahead,
if I may.
go ahead.
Being a former owner of a plumbing company, and having a plumbing license, there are tablets that you can get that literally cost a penny or less, that you can drop in the top of your toilet tank and then see if your toilet is running. Most people don't even know that they have a running toilet. They would probably get it fixed if they do it. If we, I can go to any plumbing supply at my house and get a bunch of these for nothing that we can give to each owner to drop in and test. And then they might say, oh, I have a problem. Maybe I better get it fixed.
That's a good idea, and that's something that we can make available to the owners, getting back to the return on the investment. If we go ahead and make these available to each owner and have them do it. Now, I'm gonna try to remain optimistic, but it's like telling the folks here, there's a speed limit, or there's a stop sign, okay? It's gonna be the same thing. I think that's gonna have to be something that, again, we can make available to them, And it's just like having a census form available. Does every owner fill out a census form? I'm trying to be optimistic here. Okay? Okay, but yes, we can conceivably make those tablets available and hope for the best that we can get 100% return from the owners to do it. I would like to think that we can. I would try to think that we can. And Steve, I got a lot of people here smirking at me. Like, good luck with that one, pal.
Well, I think you can get a lot of people.
Yeah, I think
May-
people,
Go ahead.
most people. wanna do
Thanks,
the
Steve,
right
appreciate it.
May
Most
I
people wanna do the
suggest
right
that we
thing.
use the annual meeting to start this campaign of do the right thing?
Well, that's
And
in my
the prize will be that we will have this big bowl of the tablets that Steve Abule is gonna get us. And every owner will be given their prize
Ones who
tablet, the ones who came and those
Like a
that
birth
didn't
control
come.
pill.
Well, we could charge them 5 cents, but whatever. But I think we have to have a concerted campaign
Yeah.
to help us save money and save the planet. And it's an individual effort that should be
It's an
explored.
An awareness that you relate to the fees. If you all take a look at your plumbing and make sure you're
Where
not
we
leaking,
could, yeah.
then maybe you
Right.
won't have a rate increase. We know that the overall rates are gonna go up, but if you can help us save money,
Right.
that's
That's
something that could be
right.
related to our annual fees.
And John, I think that those figures that you brought up, that those 5 areas that are,
Right.
about so much of our budget, that should be everybody should see
Right.
that. That might be a rude awakening.
Well, that's,
Bob, if we had 50 leaking toilets in this property, how much money do you think it would cost a month?
Well, I had
It'd be
one,
hundreds of dollars,
I
right?
had-
Thousands maybe.
yeah, I had one resident write me when I was chairman that she was in some company where there was a leaky toilet in the employee washroom, and it tripled their water bill for that month.
yeah.
Because it goes 24 hours a
Constant.
day.
So that's a good number that you can.
Well, that's to me, when I got this bill yesterday, I was immediately concerned because I expected it to go up in the January, but I didn't expect it to go up double what last January's increase.
But I
And
do
maybe we got some
apologize,
up.
I do apologize to John. I shouldn't have said juggernaut because that was a little strong.
I still love you, Bob.
Nobody knows what
No,
that
you
word
don't.
There's at least 2
Don't make that a
toilets in every unit, right? So we're
Right.
talking over
Yeah.
1,000 toilets, okay?
Right.
And it's conceivable that 50 of them are leaking, right?
That's a good assumption. That's a
So
good
let's
assumption.
Well, why don't we do
educate the people,
Why don't we do
get the tablets,
Right.
Educate
see if we
them.
can save some money.
Put something in everybody's mailbox.
Yeah,
Yeah, notice saying, hey, here's what the problem is.
I have
blah, blah, blah.
one more concrete suggestion, and that is, could the board ask all residents to inform them when they're going home for the summer?
we do,
Because,
we do.
okay, so is that a rule here?
It's not a rule per se, it's just a practice that's been done for many.
Otherwise, how are you gonna know if somebody's away for 2 months?
So those are, just go ahead and say they're gonna do it. Is there a rule about the census? Yes, but does everybody follow that rule? No.
And if we inadvertently turn somebody's off, we're gonna hear from them very quickly.
Well, right, but then they'll turn it back on.
Especially when they come back.
And you know, just to back it up, I think that informing people is absolutely of utmost importance, and no matter how you do it, I don't care if you put it in the mailbox, you can do 3 or 4 different things, because maybe if they get notification 3 or 4 times, they might realize how
Talk about ROI,
important it
it's
is. I mean,
immediate.
it's something that, who cares what it is, if you repeat it, let's just keep doing it.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to bring out is, like John mentioned it in passing, but it's true. Bring people in for the interview, they're gonna be potential buyers or renters. You give them the spiel. Spiel means to talk. Let them know what the documents require and this, that, and the other thing, and parking and vehicles and the whole 9 yards. There's a whole checklist that we go by when we do the interviews. You hear, oh, yeah. Okay. 3, 4, 5 months down the road, same people that you interviewed has gotten large cartons in the dumpster, parking pickup trucks, okay, having their pets run around off a leash, and I'm just throwing these things out there that they've already been talked to about, and then their comment is, oh geez, I didn't know. Okay, it's not that they don't forget, it's not that they forget. That's,
People move into these communities for the deed restrictions as long as they don't apply to themselves.
and that's basically, you don't see this, I mean, you guys don't see this, all right, we do. All right, and it happens. And to re-educate, to use your term, Chris, is probably the best thing we can do, and that is part of my notes for the annual meeting, the owners meeting, to let them know. Combined with the tablets that Steve came up, great idea.
Love it.
We'll find out where we can get, Steve, can you find out where we can get them?
Oh, yeah, I can take care of that.
Okay, we can make them available at the meeting, at the office, just like we do anything else that we have available for you. Go ahead, Chris.
Two other items that Bob's report brought up and really complimented his committee, and that is the LEDs. I hope we're replacing everything that we can with LEDs. And then I do think that we should pursue the solar panels. I think that Bob's suggestion, or the committee's suggestion was that we hire some sort of a consultant to take a look at it.
Bingo. I mean, I'm interrupting, but today, I sent you something. Today, I got an email from a company, out of Fort Lauderdale, that specializes in energy consultants.
That's great.
And I forwarded it to Jim, and I said, should I pursue it? And I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but this may be, to see, maybe they're out of realm as far as expense.
Yeah, you want to make it reasonable,
But we want to take a look, but just today I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not opposed to getting RFPs, Definitely get RFPs from people.
I think we should, I really do.
Yeah, I get, one comment was made with the technology isn't really there yet. And there are people that come into the solar panel business, sell people a bunch of solar panels for their homes, and I'm just talking single family homes. Something goes wrong, you go around and find them, they're gone. And that's the chance you take too, definitely, getting these RFPs. The other problem, suggestion was on the roofs of the carports, okay? That's a great idea, but before we can even look at that, we have to look at the viability and the soundness of the roofs of the carports. Are they gonna withhold all that weight? Because they're not light, solar panels are not light.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm not talking to panels myself, I'm talking about the infrastructure that hold the panels. So that's something we're gonna be looking into with this consulting company, to have them come and take a look and just say, here, run with this, what do you think?
Well, they contend they do an inventory of everything, lights, waters, everything, so it would be interesting.
And that goes with what the ad hoc committee had suggested.
I agree.
Okay?
Now,
As far as the LEDs go, I'm gonna throw my other 2 cents in here. As the lights are burning out on the property, we're replacing the bulbs with LED bulbs as it goes along. The only thing that we have an issue with the LED bulbs on, believe it or not, is the ones that surround the cameras. Because if you have an LED bulb blasting by a high definition camera, it really upsets the integrity of the pixels of the camera and the viewing of the camera. Yeah, Bob, it happens, Bob.
No, I don't understand it.
Okay. When you have this brightness, LED brightness, no, you can't lower it. You can't lower an LED brightness.
Yeah, you can.
No.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can.
I'm talking about the definition of the camera, what interrupts the definition of the camera. Okay? The camera itself has this LED, it's reading it, and it's too bright. Okay, what they're gonna do is keep where the cameras are, instead of LED bulbs, they're gonna keep the conventional CFLs or the other bulbs just around the camera system. But they're replacing them on every other bulb on the property.
That's a new one for me.
Well, that's easily handled.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
that.
You just don't put an LED light
Exactly.
there, period. So you're talking
Exactly.
4 or 5 lights out of 500.
Yeah, right, and That's the only setback, and as they're replacing the bulbs, as the bulbs burn out, the existing bulbs now, they're replacing with LED bulbs.
John, can I ask you a question on the LED installation, the inside of the lamps? When some of them burn out, will they all accept the LED bulbs, or are there some of them that will have to?
Some of them may have to, but right now, we haven't run across
Okay,
it.
but eventually we might run into that, but it's not a huge problem.
No, not a big issue, no.
Yeah, internal.
And we did put money in the reserve 2 or 3 years ago to replace certain fixtures if we needed, and so we
So we're okay with that.
have $10,000 in there. I also want to just say, some good news, which I always consider good news. We had our recent fire inspection by the Cedar Hammock Fire, and we passed 100% of all compliances within the statutes, or the ordinances, rather.
Wait, can I just ask, are the, what lamps and lights on Wildwood Springs Boulevard also being replaced with LED bulbs as they, okay, good to know.
There was some discussion about the brightness. Was there any decision made on whether it was gonna be quite bright? I mean, I don't know, just as long as they're consistent, I guess, that's all.
Well, it has to be consistent, yeah.
I
And
know
we're
there-
looking into where we're purchased too, because, historically, we've been buying at one place, but I'm looking at other prices too. It's really easy to call up Frontier Lighting, who's been competitive, but, they may slip out of it.
Because don't they have a soft white and then a brighter one in the LED, so you have to determine which one you want.
White, warm,
So I'm just saying we have to determine, so we're consistent with everyone that we're replacing, correct?
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
Yeah.
anything else?
Dimensions.
I have one
ahead,
more
Pam.
thing. The recycling. Is there a way we can get signs at our dumpster sites that says there is no recycling here? You must do it at the office? We have all kinds of just crap sitting outside of the dumpster in our cluster.
You talk about what we talked about, everybody, that's one of the big things we interviewed. I mean, it's really sad because there's not a soul here that I believe doesn't know that they're not supposed to put anything outside.
Well, it just makes extra work for
But
the
we'll put
boys.
signs if you want. I mean, historically, you've not wanted me to put extra signs around the dumpster for sign pollution.
Right there as you walk in, to see a sign, this is not a recycling site.
They put signs on all the tables at the pool to lower the umbrella.
Yeah, I know, but it makes work for the boys, extra work for the boys.
Oh, what?
They have signs up
Get
down
the
the
call.
boulevard, speed limit 15 miles an hour,
Yeah,
stop.
I know.
Let me ask you a question. Who here has not filled out a census for this year?
I told her mine hadn't changed.
Who has not filled out one? Who doesn't have one? Who has not provided a declaration page for the homeowner's insurance? There's a declaration page. Has that-
I have
Pick
done
up the
them.
census forms on your way out.
I have done both of them, but I think there's a point I'd like to bring up, because I had a little issue with, why do you need a copy of my insurance? I've never done that. For some reason, I don't ever remember giving my insurance paper in. But I asked John about it, and he gave me a very logical reason. And it was, because to me, I just said, I don't like extra paperwork if it doesn't mean anything. But I do accept his explanation that said, what if your neighbor does not have homeowner's insurance, and that's their right, but they're out of town and they have a water leak, and that leak goes into your unit and causes you damage. That could be a tricky situation if they don't have insurance. So I'm just saying, I was one of those people that said, Jim, why do you want this? But I think that's a logical reasoning to say. If you don't have it, that's your right, but what if your damage causes damage to the units around you? So I appreciate John.
Case in point, case in point was the fire that we had up at 130.
They don't have.
140,
120.
120. Yeah, the fire is really one, because I've seen units abandoned where, then all of a sudden you got a building with 8 units in it and one is abandoned, and remember when we came here, there were 42 units, 18 were abandoned, and what the association was costing.
And if you're gonna update the census and with the emergency contact, please make sure that this person is willing to be an emergency contact person with you.
Or still alive.
We've
That's a valid point.
we've ran into that issue too, where people say, I don't give a damn about her.
Oh, or him.
Please.
I would like to suggest that we do put out individual recycling bins They don't, in every single cluster, there's room in every single cluster for at least one.
Oh, yes.
They do
One
it
blue
in
bin
spring.
for 10 units?
What?
One blue bin for 10 units.
No, the small one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just paper and two. That's what they do
But they don't
in
put those
Spring
out anymore, they
Lakes.
put the big rollers out.
They don't have the little ones anymore.
And no, and it's a special truck that comes and picks them up, where the guys never get out of the truck. It's a
Can
whole
we
different
look
ballgame.
into it? I
We
see
did.
our
We did.
infrastructure
We
guy.
can't, if you were to do that, and here again, not to be negative on something that you'd have to have somebody go to the bins
Roll 'em out.
every 2 times a week, pull them out, and sit them there and then put them back in.
So if you're volunteering to do that, then
That's
27
26 clusters,
Well, this one too is 27. yeah.
27.
I don't know if there's any room in there, you know.
Well,
There are
what
some
the
clusters
bins
there.
are about this big and about this tall, and they're on wheels now. And,
Talking about
and,
manpower, waste of manpower.
well, yeah.
That's
And
Just hope this
the
stuff
ones,
is being
and they are
recycled.
such handles
I just
on it,
hope it's
the
being
truck just comes
recycled.
by and,
I'm not even sure.
the guy never gets out of the truck. It's a great idea, Leslie.
They might be tying it.
Well, we looked into it
It's,
before.
look, I mean, people are really amazingly good here. When you think of the size of that container that gets done twice a week, that gets full, I mean, people are really good about it. As good here as I've ever seen.
Ours is full today,
Here.
Your dumpster?
Oh, our dumpster.
Today's Tuesday, the guy's going
Yes,
around
it's
this
full.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's going around, Gregory's going around.
well, this is, the height of our garbage time.
Oh, Tom,
I have as much
you
recyclable as household waste.
Yeah.
All right, anybody got anything else? Steve, got anything?
No, I'm good.
All right, bye, Steve.
See you Monday.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We'll be at the church again.
Yeah, Monday at the church. All right. Pick up your census forms if you have not already, or available, try them right. I'll see you Monday. Leslie, stick around for a second, Leslie.
Okay.
He's always traveling.